again, this is the classic, I'm a new trader and I see one candle and that means change in direction. This is 5 minutes before the end of the hour candle, so you may find that this is going to be a pullback now, once again, as we tell our story throughout the morning, to go towards the New York session. So the New York Stock Exchange open at 9:30. So there is a high probability that we are going to get a pullback because now, think about it, institutions are starting to enter the game at 9:30 and they're going to drive gold prices as well. So your initial push is what we talked about. We got to 1920 and we took profit or secured profits at that point because now we know that the market's going to pull back. And what are we setting up for? We're setting up for the next major market move, which is the New York Stock Exchange open. So if you think logically through the market and you tell a story in the market, so we start off with the Asian session, which begins the printing of our daily candle. We get a bit of a pullback. The London session people come in, they continue that move, and then the New York session people come in and they continue the move again. So what you may find is in the middle of those sessions is that we get a little bit of a pullback in anticipation to go further with the continued trend. So don't get caught up in these minor pullbacks in certain pairs. Understand why they're pulling back because they're essentially getting set up for future moves in the market. So in this case, we know the North American currency session contains the London close, which is the close of the London market, but also the start of the New York Stock Exchange. So there's two catalysts within this market that we can have reversals, we can have pullbacks, we can have continued trend movements. So you have to be aware of those. And if you don't know those times, this is where you would Google, when does the London market close? When does the North American Stock Exchange open or the New York Stock Exchange open? And you would write those down and you would go back to backtest and look at the pairs that you trade and see what happens around those times. And that's how you start to identify why we should get out of trades at certain times, why we can enter trades at certain times, and where would we want certain price targets to go based on London close, based on the New York Stock Exchange open, things of that nature. So really, those are pieces of information that if you're going to trade the North American market at this time, you should have that ingrained in your head. You should not be confused on why things are pulling back or what happens at 9:30, what happens at 11 o'clock. Like you should already have that. That's part of your playbook. Similar to when you play basketball, you get fouled, you're going to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws. That's not surprising. Like you shouldn't be surprised that they give you the ball and they tell you to shoot it. You should already know that. And additionally, you should have already been practicing that because those are free points that you get with no distraction. Essentially, there's no one standing in front of you. You get a clear look at the basket. So give yourself that edge and really get that information ingrained in your head. But more importantly, understand how to apply that information so that you can take effective trades or manage the risk associated with your trades that are currently open.